Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Risk of Rain 2 for what is probably our last character introduction video for a moment here. There's another character left, but you unlock this guy by killing Mithrix, so it might be a second. We'll get there. We always get there eventually. So today we're playing, though, as Acrid. Acrid is adorable. Look at him. Don't you want to just pet? I mean, I'm sure he's sticky. Every time, if you had an Acrid in your house, every time you touched him, you'd be like, oh, what did you just get on you? But he's still adorable. Look at the eyes. Acrid has a kind of a weird kit. He's a character whose primary attack is a melee combo, much like the Mercenary, with the third hit dealing bonus damage and regenerating some of his health. But the rest of his stuff, a lot of his stuff is kind of ranged, and he's just real weird. So a lot of Acrid's kit is based around the idea of poison. There are two different poisons. I have mostly played with the first one, which applies. I wish the tooltips were more consistent. This one has a little bit more information in it. The poison deals damage based on the enemy's maximum health. So obviously this is kind of bad against normal enemies. It's a little bit better against bosses. But it's important to note, poison cannot kill. If you hit an enemy with poison and just let it tick out, it'll leave them at 1 health. The other type of poison, blight, first of all, totally can kill, and secondly, scales with your damage rather than with enemy health. So whether this is going to end up being more damaging than the poison against things like bosses is going to depend a lot on how developed you are, like what level you are and what your kit is, and obviously, like it says here, you can stack blight as well. Applying poison when something's already poisoned just refreshes the duration, but applying blight puts on another stack of blight that will tick simultaneously. So, I don't know, I've mostly played with poison. We're going to try blight today because I don't really have a good sense of how powerful it is, and we're going to learn some things. Then we have our melee combo. We have a spit that has a very low cooldown, does decent damage, and applies our poison or blight of choice. We have a sort of like a big leap smash thing. It puts out poison, it stuns enemies, it does quite a bit of damage, and then it leaves acid on the ground that deals damage over time to enemies, and that's valuable when you're using the normal poison because it will actually kill things that have been reduced to 1 by poison without you having to specifically focus your attention on them for another attack. I have unlocked this other one, Leap in the Air, dealing a lot more damage and potentially with no cooldown if you're hitting enough enemies. I think the cooldown of the leap is like 8 or 10 seconds by default. You know, since we don't need the acid to finish enemies off, let's try the frenzied leap as well. And then his ultimate, Epidemic, is a little bit strange. It fires a projectile that I believe does no damage. But when the projectile hits an enemy or a surface, it breaks and releases a second homing projectile with a very short range. That homing projectile deals the initial 100% damage listed here, and then puts the poison onto an enemy. And then after that, it will try to find another nearby target to home into. If that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry. When you see it in action, it'll be pretty straightforward. But it's important to realize that the initial projectile doesn't deal any damage, so that you know that you are not losing any damage by like shooting it at a surface nearby instead of hitting enemies directly with it, which is sometimes a much easier thing to do. So, like I said, the poison shot has a very short cooldown. You can use it to hunt wisps pretty effectively, although the spreading blight from the epidemic will be more effective at taking down clouds of them, should we get them spawning densely. Look at his movement. Look at his big wavy nose, his wobbly snout. Oh, hey, we should hit that newt altar. There's a thing that we should talk about. So after we beat this level, we're going to talk about how Acrid is unlocked, and then also a thing that I haven't been doing on previous runs that is probably worth doing. We'll get there. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Right now, we're just killing stuff, making some money, and hopefully getting some decent items here on the first level. I would very much like to go to the boss fight with at least a couple of damage items. So was there another chest around here? Alright, we'll pull on the chance shrine here. Show me good luck. Okay, green item. Green item feels like good luck. Chrono Bauble is not amazing. Not one of my favorite items. It is worth noting that Acrid is a little bit better at making use of the Death Mark than other characters because he has his own unique debuff. And Chrono Bauble does produce a debuff to... Oh, this is bad. Almost made it out. Chrono Bauble does produce a debuff to make it a little bit easier to get to the 4 debuffs necessary to activate the Death Mark. So we probably will hold on to this. Even though I don't love it. Yeah, I like the raw damage output of this version of the leap. And the leap does allow us to reset our vertical momentum. Not wild about the items we are receiving. You know, a gun drone is a pretty good item. If I had seen the gun drone before seeing the health drone, I definitely would have taken that instead. Have we seen the teleporter? I don't think we have, right? Could be higher up. It could be on the upper platform. It could be down here in the tunnel. So yeah, you can see there a really good example of the initial projectile doing no damage from the epidemic. The thing about epidemics is there's usually a little bit of lag time on the effects. Alright, let's go get our drone and also all this stuff. Okay, I don't mind a crowbar, especially with the very high damage of... Ooh, yeah, that's not bad either. With the very high damage of our leap smash here, we're going to be able to open up on enemies with a single very big damage hit, which is where the crowbar really excels. Gun drone, and then teleporter. Of course, one major downside of the shooting the projectile at a wall strategy to prevent yourself from having to aim at the enemies is that once it does that, you don't have a lot of control over which nearby enemy it will jump to first. Sometimes it will leap in a way that does not maximize the number of bounces. It's almost like these items don't even have your best interests at heart. Take this, Beetle Queen. Nope, that didn't go anywhere near as far as I wanted it to. So there's no animation on either the mouse 2 or the R here, either of our poison spreaders. So we can do them both simultaneously, and I try to just work them in while I'm doing other stuff. I don't want to spend the time to, Oh, hey, look at that. It's a death mark. Alright, so one thing that's important to understand about death mark that the tooltip does not state clearly is that in order to get the bonus damage from death mark, you have to apply 4 different debuffs to the enemy. It can't be 4 stacks of the same debuff. So that's part of why, at least I believe that to be the case. That's part of why it's nice to pick it up on Acrid, because Acrid has a unique debuff. And honestly, with the Chrono Bauble, as you saw there, the Chrono Bauble Epidemic is guaranteed to apply 2 debuffs to every enemy it hits, because the Chrono Bauble always applies. So this could be the start of a good build for us, actually. There's still some space that we haven't really figured out yet. We should look around the level a little bit more before going, but also, obviously, don't want to spend a lot of time. Let's start by going and getting that. A second Chrono Bauble offers us no benefit at all, because I don't actually care about the slow. The second bauble just improves the slow. but also it's not actually very easy to get rid of a single chronobauble. If you use a If you put an item that you have more than one of into a, what do you call it, a grinder, it grinds the whole stack of them simultaneously. So we're probably just stuck with effectively one less item here. Take me to the blue portal. Alright, so we talked before about the character who is frozen in the blue portal shop. That is one of the 2 characters that are unlocked in the shop zone. Ooh. I wish we had the items for this. These cauldrons, they only take items of the next quality down. So like we could trade 3 of our white items in for an extra death mark, which I'm actually going to do because I don't like our white items very much. Hopefully it will leave us the crowbar. Still I think an upgrade. And then this would take 5 green items, which we sadly cannot quite put together. I like that item a lot. Hey Newt, how's it going? Do we want to take any of this stuff? So the Effigy of Grief is probably bad for us because it, we're going to want to be close to the enemies we're fighting a lot. So obviously the cripple everything area is bad. That's the one that gives you a massive stat buff, but also sometimes reduces your stats instead. I'm happy with my missile launcher. I don't think we're taking any of this stuff. Alright. So let's talk about additional secrets. This very cool, extremely atmospheric chamber is not just here to be cool and atmospheric. It's also here to hide a thing. You can see down there some wooden planks. There's a gap in the cave wall down there. So we're just going to do this thing. The Hulk Smash negates all fall damage, no matter how far you fall. Let's see, there's this little hidden tunnel down here. Once per run, you can come down into this tunnel, and at the bottom of it, you will find a portal. I'm pretty sure that the portal does not spawn after you have done this once per run. You have here some of those weird rock crabs frozen in God only knows what, probably like raw time or something. This area is so cool. This whole game, really, really effective atmosphere. Alright, if you ever see a null portal, obviously you should just throw yourself through it. Can't possibly be any negative consequences for that. So the null portal takes you here into this spooky void field. You can see over there on the right, our objective is to activate the cell vents. Let's just start activating this one now. Well, hold on. First, if you stand outside of the area around the cell vents, you take constant damage. The void is bad for you, but the cell vent has a little shield around it. It keeps you safe. Press this button. I'm going to use some missiles. Press this button and it starts to spawn enemies at you, and you can see on the right there, the cell breach counter is ticking upward. So we just have to stay here until it hits 100% and, try not to die. The type of enemy that comes at you is randomized each attempt. I've never had it be jellyfish before. This is a pretty simple version of this thing. It will not remain quite so simple. This is working for me, though. So, there is... really, you should do this every single run. You might notice in the top right, the timer is not ticking. So any reward you get for doing this would be worthwhile, right? Because you're gaining power while the monsters are not gaining power. But it's not even a small reward. Every time we cleanse a cell, we're going to get an item. Let's scan the horizon. We're looking for that light, which indicates where the next cell is. Every time we cleanse a cell, we're going to get an item. And I'm reasonably sure, based on having done this a few times, that the item you get for the 9th cell is always red quality. So, it's not just a benefit that you get for free in terms of enemy development, it's a big benefit that you get for free. Just waiting for my shield to come back. Alright, so you can see, over the course of this, the enemies are going to start getting access to items. This can be a real nightmare sometimes. I'm not a huge fan of enemies having 5 crowbars. I think that's gonna be a bad time for us. It's not a big deal right now with the jellyfish, but we will eventually get more enemies mixed into the thing here. So, in theory, you should do this every single run. The core problem with that is that I don't think it's very fun. It's kind of a boring, tedious thing to have to do, and it's like absolutely objectively wrong to skip it. But that's a bummer. You should try to design your game in such a way that things that are not fun are also not mechanically mandatory. Or mandatory is fine, but you know what I mean. This isn't mandatory. This is the other thing that's worse than mandatory. It's just, in terms of strength curve, it's just wrong not to do it. Okay, I don't think that's necessarily great for us. So, next light's over there. In case it wasn't clear, after you finish a cell vent, the area around it shrinks pretty rapidly, and it will eventually just be gone entirely. So you do need to haul to the next vent. All right, new enemies mixed in. Now we got wisps, which are definitely more dangerous with a crowbar. That said, eating a little bit of damage from a jellyfish gets us underneath the crowbar bonus damage threshold, and maybe actually a really good idea. I was saying something in a previous video about the otherworldliness of the environments in this game and the way that like the music combines really well with the environment graphics to sell that idea, and I think this is just a wonderful example. Alright, this has been fairly straightforward so far. Sometimes these are real hard. I had one recently that was imps with focus crystals, and then the second item they got was crowbars. So if they got up on you, focus crystal, not bad for us, obviously. If they got up on you, it could be really quite terrifying. I don't see a light in the sky anywhere. Alright, let's get up on top of something. Hopefully it'll be more obvious from up here. Yep, there it is. So our leap has 2 charges. That's just the thing that's always true about Acrid. You don't need an item for that. It's really nice. Ow. I wish the fall damage noise was a little bit less crunchy. Again, waiting for our shield. It's probably not a good idea to wait for our health to come all the way back, right? Good news, I'm pretty sure backup magazine does literally nothing for enemies. Please don't do that. That guy's not close enough to anybody for the thing to jump. Still, this isn't too bad. We're gonna get, I believe, 1 or 2 more enemy types and 1 or 2 more items. It could still get ugly. So far, this has been a pretty easy version of this thing, though. So yeah, you can kind of see what I'm talking about, where like this is not necessarily hugely exciting to do, and in terms of making video content, it's even worse than if I were just playing by myself to do this thing every run. But man, 9 items for free, 1 of them guaranteed to be red, is very hard to pass up. And this is generally not like a real danger to your run, especially if you do it early before the enemies have much scaling in. It feels like it's pretty safe to do if you can find yourself a ooh, mushrooms. Mushrooms are definitely more dangerous. It feels like it's pretty safe to do if you can find yourself a way to get a blue portal in the first level or 2. Even if your items are really bad, like this can really open your run up. So yeah, I do not like the mushroom guys. That's gonna maybe be a little more dangerous. Damn it. There we go. Obviously, they don't make particularly great use of the items, but they're just dangerous dudes in general, especially when you're in a position where you need to stay in a relatively small area. Seems like right now they maybe can't see us. I think they do actually need line of sight to you to fire their projectile, so... For the moment we're safe because the terrain around here is awkward. There's one. That one can see us. And then when the cell hits 100%, it kills all of the enemies with an explosion. Oh good, a third chronobauble. Just what I was looking for. The game heard me talking about how great chronobaubles are. And it was like, well, I can hook you up with one of those. I could see this maybe being a little bit ugly with the mushrooms. Alright, got a good spread on that one. If there are mushroom guys just hanging out outside the zone, potentially firing garbage into the zone, we may have to go out into the void and fight them, which I'm not really looking forward to. It's going to be a dangerous time. Yeah, I really like the fact that the blight... Like, this would be super annoying if we had the poison and we actually had to shoot every enemy to death. Having the ability to just spread stuff onto the enemies and then let them bleed out is really nice. I was really hoping that was going to spread more effectively. Oh good, a lunar coin. As you can see from our supply of lunar coins and the trend in our supply of lunar coins over the course of the series, it would be very difficult... Oof, this sucks. Oh no, okay, it's up there. It would be very difficult to usefully spend lunar coins faster than you pick them up. Like, you'd really have to be trying and like, buying things intentionally that aren't even good just to spend them, so... there is no reason to be too worried about your coin income. Lemurians have been released from the cell, okay. And the enemies have leech seeds, which is pretty, I think, irrelevant. I do not fear that they are going to out-heal our damage. Most of the time, when an enemy starts taking damage from you, the result very shortly after is that they are dead. So yeah, like, the items are just not... They're not designed to be used by monsters, and so some of them end up being real good on the monsters, and some of them don't. And we are getting pretty lucky here, both in terms of the items that our opponents are getting, and also in terms of the opponents themselves. I was really expecting the mushroom guys to be more of a problem. Ooh, I do like a berserker's pauldron. But it seems like they mostly have not actually been able to fire at us. Oh wait, did I see the light over there? It is. There it is. I don't know if I can make that jump. Yes, I can. You should never doubt Acrid. Oh, nope, that's bad. The good news is, Hulk Smash removes all fall damage, so even the bonus damage from falling off the level does not affect you. The question is, how much health do I want to regen? Because I kind of would like to stay underneath the threshold of the crowbars. Yeah, we'll go now. Uh-oh, they have bonus sprint speed when out of combat now. Whatever shall we do? It actually is. It's gonna mean they show up to battle us. Just a little bit of a change of pace. These last couple of cells where they've spent most of their time just screwing around in the environment. I mean, it gets the jellyfish into actual attack range really quickly. I like their animations when they're all sped up like that. That's very funny. So, on the whole, I would say this has not been a spectacular one of these. Like, we've gotten 9 items, but they're not very compelling items for the most part. Or we've gotten 8. We're about to have gotten 9 items. I don't think they're very compelling items for the most part. No, screw that guy. We finally actually saw one of the mushrooms. But still, gain 9 items at 0 time cost is, like, a pretty big deal. Alright, we're gonna have to get up top here and then look for the light, I think. Ah, here we go. I don't know if the cell locations change. Like, you certainly get them in a random order, but it might be the case that you could just, after having eliminated 8 of them, you could just know where the next thing is, because there's only one possibility left. Alright, we're definitely going to let ourselves regen a little bit of health here. So this one's a little bit more in the open. We're way more likely to get mushroom interference this time, I think. And I mean, in addition to the items, also, of course, you're getting experience for fighting enemies, and money that you can't spend here, but that will be turned into experience when you leave, so... it's a pretty big deal. You know what? I'm just going to open with this. Wow, that, it was almost like the missiles were intentionally avoiding hitting the wisps. Ah, mushroom guy. Where's the mushroom guy? I will feel much safer if we can figure out the location. There we go. We don't even necessarily have to kill him if I can just know what direction I need to look when it's spore time so that I'm not surprised by their presence. So the enemies have been given a red item here that reduces the armor of enemies that you hit repeatedly. As you can see, we do have an armor debuff on us, which is fairly dangerous. This is definitely the most dangerous item they have been given. Okay, he's dead. And we got... what are you? Healing past full grants you barrier. Okay, that's interesting. Now that the cells are all cool, the void is over and we can walk around outside safely. So yeah, like I was saying, objectively correct from a mechanical standpoint to do this every single run, but honestly, given the amount of time it takes and how not interesting it is, it's a real bummer that it's such a good and powerful thing to do. Stuff that's boring should be bad. That's my official game design rule. These rocks are so cool. Alright, get me the hell out of here. So we got a couple of levels and 9 items, some of which I'm really happy to have. You know, this red item's probably going to be pretty good for us, and like the focus crystal is great. For the cost of 0 extra time spent. Pretty good in the overall. I would rather have a random item than either of those two things. Hey, it's okay. Well, I guess we're getting this key. Alright. Early combat shrine, let's do it. It's just a bunch of Lemurians. Who even cares? I still have a little bit of trouble aiming the dive. I always go further than I think I'm going to. Except there, where I went less far than I thought I was going to, because I didn't account for the uphillness. Okay, pretty good to get this amount of money early on. Are you anything fun? I think I will pass. But thank you for asking. I'm gonna go real low here, get real rich early on, because we have a monster tooth, and I am not afraid of running out of health. Okay, red whip is fine. So yeah, we have a huge number of items for this moment in the game, but I don't know if I think we're actually, like, all that strong. For a character that has this many items, I think we're fairly weak, because we got a lot of items that are not very exciting here. One thing I forgot to say, I think, at the beginning of the episode, is that we do have one ability left to unlock with Acrid, and it is unlocked by killing a Scavenger. A Scavenger is a type of enemy that y'all have never seen before, and that, in fact, I have never seen before in this game. Because it's a kind of enemy that only occurs after you loop at least once, after you take the primordial teleporter back to the first level. So I think that's what we're going for today. We're just going to play until we find a Scavenger. That's the hope, obviously. As a little bit of optimism to assume that we would get there. Because I would really like to unlock all of the optional abilities for all the characters, just so that we can see what tools we like best for trying to actually rack up our wins. I'm really hoping, given the amount of money that we earned very quickly at the beginning of the run here, really hoping we're going to find a gold shrine. I'll tell you what, if we find a grinder, I am grinding up all of these red whips. I need items, I need combat effectiveness stuff, you know? Oh, okay. Green printer. What do you print? You print quails. Quails are not very important to me. Ooh. We are definitely taking a challenge of the mountain. Glad I took the moment to look around. War Banner and... you know, War Banner's not bad. Maybe I should have taken the crowbar, but I feel like we're going to... So much of our damage is like damage over time effects and stuff. Crowbar obviously would be good for doing the smash leap on people. Does a lot of damage, gets multiplied well, but I don't think it's... I don't think it's powerful enough. There is an equipment box over there that we should definitely activate. So we got 3 bosses. Apparently we were going to get 2 before we challenged the mountain. We're most of the way through this one already. Just keep applying the blight, keep leaping at him, keep floating. You know what Muhammad Ali always said was, float like a butterfly and never stop infecting your opponents with horrific infectious diseases for an unfair advantage in the ring. Ooh, I love Berserker Pauldron. Go, go, go! I am so berserk right now. Okay, that wasn't too hard. So we get 2 copies of that boss item, which is... I think this is a fine item. Just flat health and also regen. Jeez, yeah, the frequency with which we can get our regenerative strike when our Berserker Pauldron buff is up is definitely impressive. I don't know if attack speed is really all that good on this guy most of the time, because I do feel like you spend a lot of your time killing enemies with ranged attacks that have significant cooldowns. But it does feel really nice to be able to just mash mouse 1 and have that much damage come out that quickly. Anything cool? I think I'm going to keep what we have now, but honestly, yeah, Royal Capacitor is pretty cool. So did we miss anything? I don't think we did. I think we probably just move on. I feel like we did a circuit of the level pretty early on there. And we already had a lot of money when we did so. Stop dodging. I mean, I don't need to kill you, but I'm going to. Yes, give me small amounts of experience, you fools. This is a very successful second biome. Empowered, of course, by the fact that the void fields are cheating. They feel a little bit like cheating. Okay, so we got a 200 gold chest here. There we go, just stomp on him. Can I hit this guy from here? Oh, he's wavering back and forth too much. Travel time is unreliable. Okay, that was pretty good. You know, greater wisps can be a real pain. It's nice to see one go down so quickly. So in order to actually start getting a benefit from our pair of Deathmark skulls, we really need another debuff or two. We need to find, like, the bleed daggers or, wow. Okay, you get some distance on that leap once you have a little bit of movement speed going. And it absolutely will convert the speed upward. Ooh, that was an errant twitch that turned out to be real bad for us. I'll tell you what, if we find a grinder around here, there are definitely a whole bunch of items that I would be eager to grind up. But yeah, there are lots of debuff items we can still find. Right now, a pretty large percentage of our inventory is just not actually contributing to combat in any way. I'd love for that to change. Also, we need more sources of healing. We are not getting any bonus barrier from our. Well, that was obviously a little further than I meant for that to go. I gotta try to jump in places where there are going to be things that can catch me. Oh, hey, there's an adaptive chest hidden down there. Oh yeah, we don't really have like a lot of sources of healing at the moment, unfortunately. Alright, show me something real cool early on. When the thing is slow enough for me to catch it. Ukulele might have been good. Still just kind of like waiting for something red. Alright, well, that's going in a grinder. Jesus. So mobile. Way too mobile. You know what? If we're going to have all this mobility, let's use it to go back here and get the, get that chest. Okay, those guys are all dead. Okay, razor wire's not bad for us. We will usually be close enough to enemies for it to actually fire. But yeah, I need like a leech seed, or I guess one thing that the mushrooms do for us is they allow me to just stand still for a while at full health and probably get a full barrier bar on top of my full health. Jesus. Really very difficult to control at this point. The red whips are making things awkward. Right, show me cool stuff. At this point, I would grind so much of our inventory in a grinder that I don't even know. It would take a while. Like I think we like the monster tooth. Yeah, a lot of it would go in the thing, and unfortunately, we would end up keeping 3 chrono baubles because we can't keep just one. Maybe I should just hit it. That's okay. Another charge of our shot's not a bad thing. That I do not really... Well, you know what? Actually, Supermassive Leech might be interesting for us with our health to shield conversion. Alright, I'm gonna gamble. That's fine. Crowbar's not bad, but there are a lot of items that would have been better, and I decided to hope. I don't know why. We have not been seeing the kind of luck with items that we would need for hope to be a good strategy. Not quite there yet. There we go. Now let's grab this and then head back. A 3rd death mark. Well, maybe it'll be good eventually. I still really like the rocket launcher as a way of dealing with, like, right now we have the tools to fight a cloud of wisps or whatever. But remember that at some point, large groups of ranged enemies are going to be made up of like brass contraptions, and it's going to be a slightly different situation. Oh shoot! Please stop doing that. Oh, you know what? I guess we have a stun too. I believe stun applies as a debuff. So maybe we have even more debuffs than I realized. All right, we're gonna have to go up there. Wait, where'd he go? Oh, here he is. Alright, I really need you to stop shooting at me, please. Don't particularly want to get close to him. So when he's in his stand-up form like that, the projectiles he shoots all come at you on the ground. So if you could just get off of the surface he's standing on, like this, you'll be totally safe from them. When he's in the low down form and he starts his attack, he arcs them at you, so you are not safe in the same way. Yeah, actually, I guess I could just stand perfectly still here and let the mushrooms feed us, right? Well, except that, you know, at some point he's going to decide he doesn't like that. Oh, you can stand on your drones. That's a thing I didn't know before. Well, we've entered this phase of the fight. I mean, at this phase, I guess I can just jump him, right? There's no reason not to. There's no longer any penalty for getting close to him, because he doesn't have projectiles when he's doing this. Gives us another pauldron. Okay, I'm fine with pauldron. Pauldron's okay. Pauldron will be really good sometimes during boss fights, where we're sort of like incidentally killing large groups of garbage with our epidemic and our stomps, and then getting super boss damage. Ooh, fire. Good way of applying additional debuffs. Let's take... Bonus boss damage is always fine. I think we are going to find that there is nothing up here to take. Yeah, so I think we're good then. We were pretty thorough, and we had the money to buy stuff pretty much the whole time. So there's not going to be a lot of chests left over. Running too fast to interact. I guess I wasn't 100% thorough with this. We didn't go all the way down this path. There might have been a chest somewhere. Okay, Siren's Call. Don't see any boss enemies already spawned. That doesn't mean there aren't any. I think we should expect to find one. Printer for Slug is not very exciting. That's an emergency drone, which I think we do want if we can... Aw. Making contact with the brass contraption doesn't cause the pounce to actually hit it. That's a shame. I was really proud of myself for having actually aimed that well, too. Okay, he's dead. Oh, there's our already spawned boss enemy. Well, let's activate this turret. I think that's probably going to be helpful. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It would be really nice if pouncing directly to an enemy caused it to take the damage from the pounce. Okay, I think we got him that time because I landed on him. Ooh, okay, bleed. Another debuff. So now we at least have a chance to apply enough debuffs. Ooh, I was trying to find some cover down here before that happened. You know what? I'm just going to finish the fight from down here, actually. So yeah, we have to get a bleed proc, and then we also have to kill something else nearby to apply the fire from gasoline. But it is at least now possible for us to get to 4 debuffs. Or I suppose it could be blight and slow and bleed and stun. If the stun does indeed leave a debuff. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Makes sense that it would though, right? Okay, fruit. I'm not a huge fan of fruit. Feathers and fireworks. It's all just kind of unimpressive, you know? Okay, so we'll just let those do that thing. We need a grinder and we need a good printer. Because we have enough items that I do like that I'd be a little bit leery of just jamming things into a printer without grinding first. Don't think I would want to have a risk of losing any of our debuff proccers or our death marks or anything. So kind of an awkward position. A huge number of pretty mediocre items. Second gasoline is fine, not exciting for us. We don't really care about the fire for the damage it deals so much as for the debuff. And the fire is already 100% guaranteed. Additional gasolines just make it more damaging. Ooh, wow. That's a lot of damage. It's way more damage than I was expecting. Get away from me. Okay, well, we found our grinder. Now we need a moment in peace to grind things. Probably it'll be best, given the spawn rates of things on these later levels, for us to just beat the boss and then come back to the grinder. That's not a chest, those are bird eggs. I have no interest in disturbing any more of the nests than I absolutely have to here. Because I do not want to fight extra vultures, or extra things that might be friendly to vultures. Wow, you can really get some distance on that. Right, hopefully that'll take care of a couple of those. Jesus. Wow, I'm not a huge fan of any of these things. I guess that, you know what? The turn invisible when you take huge amounts of damage thing, totally useful. Absolutely worth having. I assume that if you have multiples, it just makes the invisibility longer. Again, it would be really nice if stack information was actually in the tooltips. Okay, and then the teleport is just on the ground over here, right? Is that... Wait, is that not open? How did I not open a chest? Welcome aboard. Never have enough drones. I don't think I want to rework all of my items into bonus boss damage. Especially if we're not doing Mithrix. You know, a lot of our time is going to be spent fighting normal enemies. Hate Magworm. Not a good guy for us to have to fight. Oh, would rather fight Magmaworms than Elder Lemurians. Oh god, it's a whole bunch of them too. Okay, we're just gonna try to withdraw a little bit here. Being close to Elder Lemurians is a fantastic way to die. Come on, disease, tick them down. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I feel a little bit safer. And we sort of accidentally almost killed the boss by just, you know, doing our disease thing while fighting other enemies nearby. It was a pretty fantastic demonstration of the area damage that Acrid brings to the table. As you keep building up, you get real strong. Yeah, Gore's Tome, also not very compelling. We're going to grind such a large portion of our inventory here and then just be running around with a bunch of scrap forever. It feels a little bit bad to me to grind without having a printer in mind, because sometimes it can take a long time to find a decent printer. Alright, let's get to it. You know, as partially evidenced by the fact that we have not found a decent printer at any point during this game. Alright, so what are we actually comfortable parting with? Oh. I'll keep a crowbar. A crowbar is fine. I might actually, like... I'm not only comfortable parting with the, parting with the whips, I think we'll actually benefit quite a bit from parting with some of these whips. Alright, I don't love bustling fungus. Honestly, the fireworks have been working out pretty well for us. I don't really like this item very much. I don't mind mobility. Let's get rid of the key. I'm gonna get rid of the whips for sure. I might keep the energy drinks though. Faster sprinting all the time is a thing that's actually like useful and reliable. The whips like kick on and off at like weird times, and yeah, even with us fighting a lot of normal enemies and stuff, fireworks we're cool. We got it under control. And then what else? The personal shield generator has some weird interactions with the game's one-shot protection. I think people really, really overemphasize one-shot protection when they talk about this game because it's like a simple, comprehensible mechanic and people really latch onto that stuff. You almost always die by getting hit a couple of times in quick succession, so one-shot protection's kind of whatever, but I still might grind these. We don't need that. Alright, when we find a good printer, we're going to gain so much power so quickly. I'm going to go ahead and burn these things too. We're gonna find a crit glasses printer or something and just get 10 of those, and it's going to be awesome. What is the... Man, I don't even know what the item I would most like is. Light quality item I would most like. Honestly, I might... If we found one that printed focus crystals, I might take that. 10 crowbars would be funny. I don't know that it would be very good, but it would be funny. Think how hard we would jump smash people. Alright, so like I said, our intention here is to loop. I didn't end up printing off my, grinding off the Hopu feathers. I hope that turns out to be right. I actually do really like the jump. The extra jumps from mobility. Hey, this is familiar. Ah. There are brass contraptions behind me. Take that. And then we get away from him because it's not actually smart to be that close to a Lemurian. Okay. It's fine if getting close to them will kill them. That's an okay thing to do. Let's deal with this guy. Apparently I took enough damage to... Huh. It didn't feel like I took enough damage to warrant going invisible, but alright. Raider Wisp has got to be a priority. These guys do a lot of damage. Ah. Oh, almost. Almost. I tried. I gave it my best. I love you, Blight. Now, once you have a couple of drones, the difference between poison and blight in terms of like the blight being able to kill stuff and the poison not being able to kill stuff probably starts to fade away because your drones will often pick off a thing that is at 1 health, just sort of like accidentally as they're doing their job. Okay, worm down. We have established control of the landing zone. Congratulations, everyone. We did it. How dare you? Best place to be when fighting a Lemurian is 1 mile in that direction. Okay, he's dead. Oh, it's a bad time. Oh, it's a bad time. There are yet more magma worms up. Honestly, these spare magazines are feeling pretty okay right now. Oh, yep, you can see we are getting our deathmark debuffs up occasionally. Not on that guy. Not on the one I'm, like, focused on while saying that, but we did get it on the guy previous. You can tell by looking at the debuff bar, obviously, but also when something takes the deathmark debuff, it gets a big black skull over its head for a second. It's very, very easy to see. We have no idea where the teleporter is, do we? Damn, impact from the missiles moved that guy out of the way of my shot. Okay, so that guy's dead. The parent should be dead pretty soon. That didn't work. Hopefully you guys can forgive me the cowardice of being largely a ranged character at this point in the game. Listen, I want to punch this thing. I want to. I'm trying. Oh, you're getting punched for sure. Okay, I think that worm's dead. So, teleporter. I don't see it, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. There's a lot of places for it to hide. I would really like it if we could get one more source of debuffs that didn't require, a death. Right now, we can only apply 4 debuffs to something that has been near something else that has died as we kill it. I think we're going to be buying the infusion from this thing. Moise. Stupid mushroom. Oh, shit! Still quite fast. I'm still actually very fast. Well, I mean, it was an escape. I'm just not going to worry about that. This is a cunning stratagem. Just set yourself on fire. Yeah, I'll take another razor wire. May as well activate every turret we see. At this point, there is no benefit in not doing so. We have all of the money. So we didn't find a printer anywhere, and obviously I had great hopes that we would. I would like to hang out a little bit until more of our drones show up. Let's switch this into loop mode. Definitely got myself hit there. Really, really, really don't want there to be this many mushrooms up during the boss fight. Okay, let's do it. Before more garbage spawns. Oh, good, my nightmares. And then a wave of brass contraptions spawned afterward. Well, the good news is, at the speed at which we sprint, it is unlikely that they will be able to hit us if we just keep moving. The bad news is I do have to stop sprinting occasionally to shoot them. This is so many enemies. Oh my god. There's no animation at all on the poison shots. So both of our abilities that fire plague can just be done while sprinting. So I think that's my plan. Is just go real fast and never stop plaguing. Oh, I hate the way this is turning out. And there's lots of ticking happening. We can hear that there's a lot of damage, but also it doesn't seem like anything's actually dying. Unfortunately, the electric elites have shields, right? So that's like their whole thing. We are intimately familiar with the kit of the electric elite on account of our time getting to cosplay as one. So we do have to keep applying damage to them. If we lay off, they will just regain almost all of their health. Real nervous about that. Yep, gonna keep running now. Just keep running. Having lowered the number of normal enemies around here is certainly going to be helpful. I think I'm happy with blight over poison. I think. Oh right, I gotta remember that they leave the little lightning bombs. Ah, got him. I did it, everyone. I was brave briefly. Okay, that guy's at full shields, but very low health. You just gotta dodge between the big steel balls of doom. I really don't want to have to go up there. Okay. Oh, a blue portal. I think a leech seed is probably really, really good for us with our red item. But I also think we should take a moment here and let's see if we can just locate a printer or some shields or something. Shields? Printer or some chests or something. Because there is an area over here that we have just not looked at all, right? Okay, focus crystal. And honestly, razor wire is pretty good. Oh, that's a bandolier, not a razor wire. That's also fine. We tend to be close enough to our enemies to benefit from one of those. Oh, a stun grenade. A stun grenade is another source of a debuff. Okay, I feel good about that. Definitely weird. Definitely a weird thing to control. Okay, super glad we looked around. So whenever we kill an enemy, like spectral homing daggers will emerge from their corpse, and then we'll go and find other nearby enemies to kill. Yo, honestly, that was a fantastic group of post-teleporter chests right there. That was really, really, really worth the time. Ow, my leg. Well, I mean, I guess let's do this. There's no reason not to. Okay, so we are hoping to run into a Scavenger. I have not spent a huge amount of time playing post-loop. I don't know exactly how rare a Scavenger is. I know what they are, because they were in the first game. I don't really want the glass shard thing. Oh, this is the one that replaces your primary attack, right? We could turn ourselves into a full ranged character, pretty much. Maybe that would be a good idea at this point in the game. Let's see here, we could lose 5 random greens for the disc. The thing is, there's a lot of greens I'd be fine with losing, but there's a couple I really, really don't want to lose. Oh, well we do have... Wait, but did we determine that these don't prioritize scrap? Hold on, I'm going to hit it. We're going to find out. No, it totally prioritized our scrap. I didn't see what the other item it took was, because it looked like we had 4 green scrap. And it looked like it took 5 green scrap, but it can't have been the case. Well, whatever. We traded nothing in for a red item. I feel good about it, and I think I'm going to take this. I think we're going to play ranged Acrid now. This is the world we live in. I guess, do I want to force a particular... Not really. I don't think I care. Alright, so we still have our slam. I don't know if our attack speed items are going to play well with the Visions of Heresy. Does the cooldown get changed by attack speed? I'm not sure. I might have just made all of our attack speed useless. That's a possibility. Ooh. Do I want to spend 10 scrap on daggers? The answer might be yes. That might actually be a thing worth doing. Let's take this real quick. What would I want more than daggers? Honestly, daggers might be pretty close to perfect, now that I'm thinking about it. Let's go do that. That was some clumsy shooting. Jesus. Those are some big hits. Welcome aboard, lads. It is nice to have more ranged attacks, honestly. I think this was a good move. As things get more and more dangerous, I'm going to want to go in for melee less and less, so... Alright, we're gonna use this this bleed printer. 'Cause, you know, bleed damage is pretty significant on top of the increased effectiveness of Deathmark and... I hope this doesn't turn out to have been a dumb idea. Unfortunately, we have to stand here on this bridge all exposed for like a really long time to make this happen. It takes a long time for these things to work. Still have 4 scrap left, Jesus. Yeah, it definitely, the intensity of the game goes up. I think maybe more than the difficulty, which is not to say that there is not difficulty, but it feels very intense right now. We didn't actually search this whole area out. One of those fancy elites. Yeah, okay, I guess there's not really all that much down here. Here's a chest we missed. Ow. That's stuck in the air for too long. Wow, yeah, we are applying a lot of bleed I don't know if you saw that, but we got that guy up to 17 stacks of bleed pretty quickly. So bleed plus blight plus slow plus procs from the stun grenades or damage from enemies dying, the gasoline setting stuff off. We'll apply our death mark quite reliably. Oh hey, it's a boss. Hello. Hello, a boss that I didn't see until just now. Trying to get to cover here. You know, you can't say the damage output's bad. Shh. Okay, here's something. Sure, I'll take that. And we're getting some benefit from our red item. Like, it's definitely producing barrier on some occasions. It feels like it's not that frequent though. Have I just missed the teleporter? Where the heck is it? Is that open over there? No. We're on the island. We were on the bridge already. Where else could it be? Could be up there, I suppose. Did we run? We ran past this already, though, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly not up there. I'm gonna feel real silly when we see it, and it turns out that I just ran past it a bunch of times, because at this point, it literally must be the case. Yeah, we started up here. That's what I thought. Does this go all the way up, or no? It just goes onto here. And this doesn't wrap around here, does it? Oh, apparently I've never activated 6 turrets before. I guess that makes sense. I don't have a lot of respect for the gun turret on most occasions. I mean, I must have run directly past it. Oh, also, that's a lockbox. Give me free item. I'll take it. Did I run? When we were in the tunnel, I was a little panicked a lot of the time. Maybe I'll feel real silly if it turns out to be in the tunnel, though. Oh god. I aggroed the spawner. Apparently all of the enemies remembered that they wanted to kill us all at once. Well, that's not ideal. Huh. Well, again, I expect I'm gonna feel real dumb, but I do not see it. Where is the really dumb and obvious position? Sometimes a little platform spawns below this. Okay, yeah, the newt altar is there right now, and I don't necessarily think we want to go to a newt altar. What in the hell was that sound? Oh, that might have been one of those spooky elites. Maybe they get a unique spawning noise? Man. I don't know if it's those guys in particular, or if it's just like all elites at this point, but that guy had a lot of health. Oh, there's a secondary ledge down here that I just totally didn't... Damn it. There's an updraft right next to the teleporter. Okay, I don't like this as a spot for fighting. Oh, Lord. Lots of shooting. Lots of shooting. Just never stop shooting. Using our smash dash thing as a method of escape far more than as a method of attack at this point, which I think is reasonable, justified cowardice. It's a level of cowardice that I am very comfortable with. I don't even know what the area around those little wasps does. I just know I don't want them to be alive. You know what? Damage reduction while sprinting might be okay right now. Spend a lot of our time sprinting away from enemies. Stuff is just exploding and I don't even know why. That's pretty alright. I don't even know what I'm looking at up there. I think that's just a Lemurian, but you know, there's so many effects and corpses stacked up everywhere that I kinda can't tell what's happening. So I don't know if the Scavenger is going to appear as a boss or if it could spawn just like a normal enemy, because they're definitely a boss level enemy. But I guess that doesn't mean it wouldn't appear. Damn it. I guess that doesn't mean it wouldn't appear as a normal enemy. Like, you know, bosses appear as normal enemies at this point all of the time. I wonder if this is a run where we could kill Mithrix. I wonder like, if we can find a Scavenger before we get back to the end, and then next time don't loop but just go to Mithrix. I wonder if this could be the one, because I'm feeling pretty powerful. Gosh, that's a lot of stacks of bleed. Look at it. Look at how quick it stacks up. Unfortunately, on enemies that are immune to stun, we're still reliant on getting a gasoline debuff up on them to hit the 4, which obviously requires that there be other enemies around for me to kill. I'm trying to think, do I even know of another item that would put up a debuff? Because it would obviously be great if we could just get one more kind of debuff that we can apply on hit. Something that no enemies are immune to. I don't think there's an item that just applies fire by itself. Is there? No thanks on the cube. I think I like my rocket launcher. There you go. Classic Clay Dune Strider. It's just a random enemy. You know, you see that all the time. That's a real everyday sort of thing around here. Let's just get 17 or so stacks of bleed up on him. Ow. I thought I could double back and just jump over it. Well, the good news is I'm not in very much danger of getting caught in his suck you in attack. Oh god. Hey, that's an enemy type that's still really, really dangerous. Those guys can be stunned, the bullet guys, which is, I'm sure, how we will end up dealing with that one. Either that or my drones will just get the job done. Ooh, okay. I thought I remembered them having to get a lot closer to you in order to attack. There we go. Probably just be mashing the teleporter. Just kind of hoping our drones would get over here at some point, though. A lot of our drones are not present, and that makes me nervous. Okay, that guy's a really high priority. It doesn't look like attack speed is doing anything for us in terms of making our main attack cooldown any shorter. I did not realize the number of bosses we were up against until just this moment. Alright. I mean, when we're able to focus on them, we can often stun them with just stun grenade procs. So this is sort of like, I want to say, to people who are not familiar with Risk of Rain, the episodes up till now have not, in my opinion, necessarily been representative of the Risk of Rain experience. When I think of this game, this, and the first one, this is sort of what I think of in terms of, like, you're scaling all the way through hell, and your opponents are scaling all the way through hell, and you all just... It ends up being a game of unbelievably powerful god beings desperately trying to kill each other before anybody can get a move off. And obviously that's less true for me than it is for a lot of people. Because a lot of people do not like to go fast in this game. A lot of people want to slow roll and make sure they are getting as powerful as they can get, and they don't care about how powerful the enemies are getting. Take that. Take one of these. Sure, a crowbar. That seems fine. Some meat. Hey, I found some meat. Our disc is just going nuts, and I have no idea why. Just killing every object we happen across. Attack speed doesn't do anything anymore. I guess I'm gonna take a key. I think we're fast enough, honestly. Not wild about key, but I think those other two items are both effectively nothing at this point. Alright, I think we've been pretty thorough here. Let's keep moving. So we could, I suppose, obliterate and take an ending, but we got some momentum here, and we're still hunting for that scavenger, so we are definitely not going to be obliterating here at the end of Scorched Acres. Okay, more Dune Striders. It's a very Dune Strider heavy run. It is nice to be able to fight enemies from this distance. Gonna just let myself out the back of this encounter. Okay, there we go. Once we can get a couple of enemies dying, our damage gets really good with all of the procs and everything. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of cover. What even are you? Oh, you're a vulture. It's all covered in garbage from all of my effects. And also on the ground, which is not generally where I expect to see a vulture. I would love it if that Dune Strider were to not live anymore. Where'd he go? Here he is. Okay. Problem solved. That was a little bit scary, just like standing there and dueling that guy, because he wound up and we took a bunch of damage real fast. I'm gonna maybe grab a Make Me Feel Better bear. I should probably not be spending a lot of time fighting random enemies. It's a very compelling experience to just like watch your numbers go up. But in terms of enemy power curves, in terms of comparative power curves, it's pretty bad to just stand around fighting enemies, especially right now. We should be looking for loot or looking for the teleporter or both at all times. That said, if you ignore the enemies too much, you do pay a price. The game's all about finding that happy medium. No good, no good. I don't think we really need a newt altar. Oh, jeez. I thought I was going to be able to fall on that dude. That was my plan. Alright, away! In particular, it's dangerous to avoid, or to ignore enemies like the gunners. Both because they might kill you as you are running around, and also because you really don't want one showing up all of a sudden. You don't want to be surprised by a gunner in the middle of a boss fight. Okay, kind of flung myself off the world a little bit there, out of panic. So apologies if the recording becomes harder to follow. Roundabout now. This is going to be where my computer starts chugging a little bit on top of there just being a lot of things happening. We got one of the imps down. Real close to clearing. Obviously, the bosses are not everything, nor even necessarily the most dangerous things. Alright. I am doing such a bad job here. Yeah, we are losing drones. It'd be really nice if I could figure out where all of our drones were getting lost so that I could buy them all back. I don't have a great sense of how many we even had. I do like it when one enemy hits me a little bit, just like does a small amount of damage, and especially a fire enemy, and then it triggers like 100 procs from my razor wire that kill everything in the area. Alright, so there's the celestial portal that we will not be taking. Okay, well, guess we're up here now. I no longer trust myself to be able to pounce on enemies. Prion accumulator. I think I want to keep going the way we're going here. I think I value doing a bunch of damage to a bunch of enemies rather than doing a huge amount of damage to a single enemy. That helps us get to some gasoline procs. And with that, I think we probably are done with useful loot in this area, right? Is there anything down on this platform? Well, that's a little bit of XP. XP still matters. Alright, well, this is definitely one of those. And over here, sticky bombs and... oh, brooch. I like brooch. Kind of amazed we don't have any brooch yet. Why am I fighting? Let's leave. And so we continue on. Until the Scavenger reveals himself. That coward. That item-rich coward. The Scavengers, in the first game, have a big bag over their back. Like a Toe Jam and Earl Santa. And the bag is full of items, and sometimes you can kill them and take those items, and also they will use the items against you in ways that you will not enjoy. That almost gave us enough money for this chest. Yeah, it's really, really hard to use the slam offensively given our speed. Even when I'm looking down at the ground, it still carries us like a considerable distance. Sure, faster. Why not faster? Here's the thing, we were definitely too slow. You know, maybe I should be taking Newt Altars, because if we could find more copies of this Visions of Heresy, it actually would probably be pretty good for us. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that, but I should have been taking the Newt Altars. Alright, well, if we see more, we will use them. Focus Crystals, a lot less good than they used to be. Back when I had a melee attack. They still affect the damage of our slam. Dear, my drones, help. I seem to have gotten myself into a situation. As soon as one of them dies, they all start... I'll start keeling over, though. The fire damage is intense. Whee! What are you guys fighting? That's a Scavenger! He has a huge gun. We're gonna stay the hell over here. I'm very aware of the fact that there's a Lemurian in the tunnel behind us. Concerned that this is going to become an unsafe place to stand. Yeah, look at the size of it. And he does still have his big, huge bag across his back, too. Well, I'm just gonna stack up 60 or so bleeds real quick. Oh god, what's he doing? Alright, thing unlocked. Oh hey, additional Scavenger. Oh god. Don't like this at all. Did you drop anything? Oh yeah, a bag. Yes, give me bag. Okay, well we did it, everybody. So I'll tell you what. At the next time we're in the Sky Meadow, we're going to the ending. Give me the thing. Yeah. Ow. Okay, let's maybe withdraw. Just take a second here and figure out our options. There's a lot of enemies and stuff going on right now. We did not get most of the Scavenger loot because I was chased out of the area by angry dudes. I think it will very much help for there to not be a ton of living mortars around here. That's a fun, cool reward for killing a Scavenger. Oh god, we're losing drones left and right. It's a massacre. We have fireworks now, so we should try to open things. Obviously, I want to go find the boss and go find the teleporter and do the boss, but I think it would be deeply foolish to do that with this number of enemies alive. Alright, we can kill this many enemies. Probably worth it to try to like do a dash in and see if you can grab any bandolier stuff. Oh right, the Scavenger's still alive. That's a problem. Come back to me, drone. The good news is that we effectively have infinite money. And that will probably be true for the rest of the run. On every level, we're going to have so many enemies spawning so quickly. Okay, so this guy, it looks like he has a Somerang? Also, his gun is a problem. Well, even if we end up dying here, we've accomplished a thing. We've seen some cool new stuff. I had not seen the Risk of Rain 2 Scavenger. He looks very much like the Risk of Rain 1 Scavenger. In a way that I find not even a little bit comforting. You know how people sometimes are comforted by the familiar? Oh, was this smart? Was it a good idea to charge toward his massive charging gun? I don't know. It seems to have not actually killed me. So in that sense, I suppose I can't complain too much. Can I tell you, I think Visions of Heresy was maybe the smartest thing we've done all run. I would not want to be melee Acrid right now. Even if Acrid's melee attack does heal us. Did he not drop a bag? It looks like maybe he didn't drop a bag. Well, shoot, I'd love to buy back some of the drones we lost, but I don't see where they are. Oh, there's one of them. Aha. Yeah, alright. I think we're going to have to bail on the rest of the drones. This is, I think, as close as we are going to get to a moment where it is a good idea to pull the boss. So we should probably try to do that. There's embers here. Where the hell is the teleporter? Found it. Alright, let's get rid of Scary Elite first. Spooky guy, too spooky. Okay. And then we pressed the button. And spawned 100... Wow. That was an awful lot of damage real quick on those imps. Trying to stay away from the ground. They can't harm you if you are not on the ground. I do not like the screen darkening effect that comes from being in the Spooky Elite's zone of spookiness. I don't even know if it's actually dangerous to us. I just don't like it. It looks menacing to me. I'm not in the zone. Oh good, Deathmark. Deathmark's good. Okay, so basically everything's fine. I'm like some kind of permanently invisible, chronically diseased Sonic the Hedgehog. And that's just Risk of Rain. That's just what the game is. There's so much stuff on the ground to buy right outside of the teleporter zone, it's driving me crazy. Let's go over here for a while. Okay, you I can buy back right now. He's so close. Why won't he die? Okay. Spooky zone dealt with. Alright, definitely don't want to be that close to an Elder Lemurian. I tried dashing in and then immediately dashing out because I know they're stun-proof, but I figured if we were just quick, it would be fine. And then I managed to hurl myself at 10 million miles per hour all the way into the distance. Fortunately, there's no damage from making contact with surfaces at high speed. Okay, more drones, more guns. You can never have enough. I don't know what that is that's trying to shoot at me, but I do not care enough to go fight it. We should absolutely not stop scaling upward. We need to scale upward forever. So let's continue to grab all of the items. Fortunately, it takes us very little time to explore now. And also, Chance Shrines should just give us everything the first time we touch them, because we're gonna get it all. I gotta remember not to press the sprint button, because I start moving so fast that I'm completely uncontrollable. Did we... I opened all the stuff around here, yeah. Okay, I think we're good to go. There are still enemies around, and I don't care. Okay, we got that one. I think we'll get the XP for him. Alright. The second we land, it's just like, it sounds like World War III. Alright, we probably don't actually have the option of not fighting this worm. Right, we are going to have to kill the worm before we can leave. He will just come over and be a huge problem for us at the teleporter if we don't, so... Ooh, wow. That caught me by surprise a little bit. Very difficult to keep a close eye on all sides of everything around you. Sure, that's fine. Trying to kill the magma worm, it's not easy to hit it. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I don't really control how my projectiles target things anymore, so... Let's maybe get out to a different side of this conflict. This guy is also probably a mandatory kill. This is going to happen. Okay, more fireworks. Not exactly what I was looking for. Did I miss him? Did I miss that huge spherical enemy? I think I did. That's very embarrassing. It's an embarrassing thing to have caught on camera. So much stuff is so close to dead. This is the problem with being accurate and just having, like... Oof. Having so much damage over time and having it so weirdly distributed. I don't think we've done, like... Ow, I just got hit in the face by a giant rock. I was about to say, I don't think we've actually done that much damage to the magma worm, but he might be dead, actually. I'm not 100% sure that he's... Okay. Other boss dead. Oh, it's a scavenger. So I wonder if it's like only the first scavenger you kill on each run drops his bag, or no, there's the magma worm. Or maybe it's like they don't always drop it, it's just a chance and we got lucky seeing it on the first try. Because obviously, if they're going to be spawning frequently, they can't always drop their bag. It would be very dangerous. What are all these zones? It would be very, very overpowering. The player would get a lot of things. It looks like he did drop his bag, though. So we're just going to go open that real quick and then let it have a moment to spawn things. Items. Give me the items. Okay, it's a lot of fireworks. I don't even see a health bar on the magma worm. I think the health... Okay, the health bar is near the front of it. Okay, we got some decent items out of that. We got some stuff I actually like. God, I love this music as a counterpoint to the intensity of what's going on in this part of the game. It'd be so easy to go, like, super hard on the music, and it would not feel out of place, but it would feel less cool than this feels. That was not a soldier syringe. Our item thing is still catching up. I think it was a fuel cell? Yeah, it was a fuel cell. You can see our equipment now has a counter over top of it. I do not have any sense of where the teleporter might be. We've spent very little time looking around. How many fireworks does it take before fireworks is actually a pretty great item? I don't know, but I think we're there. So just keep an eye out for the teleporter, everyone, and shout if you see it. We'll be running this like an episode of Dora the Explorer. I am absolutely not touching combat shrines at this point in the run. Shoot. Yeah, I definitely don't see it. I would love to get our drones back. It's gonna be so hard to tell where they died, though. Hey look, it's another scavenger. So apparently they're really common after you loop. I don't know how I hadn't seen one until today. Teleporter, please. I'm going to open this in the hopes that it's going to have another Visions of Heresy in it. Nope, I don't want that. That'd be fun, though, at this point, right? Another Visions of Heresy would be pretty okay. Aha! Teleporter. I'm just gonna hit the button. Perhaps unwisely, because there's a lot of dangerous enemies here, but I don't trust that I'm going to be able to control... Whoa, Jesus Christ. Okay, so the whole game went entirely to hell when that happened, and I almost died immediately from it. Also, at some point, I changed items. I changed equipments without meaning to, I guess. And I'm really not happy with this one. I don't like this at all. What hit me? A greater... It would have to be something like that, right? So, something that does damage instantly. So I got a monster log from one of the scavengers that I didn't even notice. We unlocked a new thing, and that's fun. Monster logs. And an achievement that'll put a new item in our run, and it looks like it's some kind of turret, which is appropriate, given how we unlocked it. 5 million damage dealt. Just a casual 5 million. Yeah, man, that's a bummer. I actually really thought we were going to do it. Alright, what is the thing that we unlocked? Poisonous regenerative. Bite an enemy for 310% damage, deals up to triple damage to low health enemies. Huh, in place of your ranged attack, though. And it says bite, so one has to assume that it's quite short ranged. These sometimes have a little more information on them. Yeah, So this is much more of a, like, Vicious Wounds and Ravenous Bite together, like a get up in the enemy's face and tank them type build for Acrid. Man, I'm really bummed out about that. I thought that was going to be the one. I think we could have taken Mithrix if we could have gotten to him. Also, I think there's still explosions happening in the soundtrack. I think we have not escaped all of the audio clips that we created. Let's see if is that new item we unlocked in here yet? Okay, it's silhouetted out. We could find it, but we haven't found it. All right. Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm going to go ahead and count that as a successful episode. My computer is very overwhelmed by everything that's been happening. There we go. There's the credits. Okay, now it's running at a normal speed. So that's Risk of Rain, everybody. That's what that game is like. That was the last of our character introductions for the moment. Now you know sort of like the basic idea of what all the characters are. My feeling is that we should try to focus on unlocking new skills for the characters, continue unlocking things until we actually know what everything does. So if there's a particular character you'd like to see us play some more, feel free to drop that in the comments. Sadly, I don't need to unlock anything else for the loader, so it might be a minute before we play loader again, but man, I do love playing loader. Yeah, let me know what you want to see in the comments below, and come back next time, tomorrow, for maybe the one. I feel like we're getting closer and closer. And we'll see you then.